Well, it's been at 383. I'm going to talk to you guys about when you do mudding or anything. My reason why I'm saying I do not prefer stock vehicles, and here's why I'm really saying that, even with mud or snow, this is something to do with, it's basically going to be talking about mudding a little bit. So, my reason why I'm saying if you ever do mudding, the biggest thing I'm really mentioning is that you get mud up in your frame probably, and you know what, you get that on here, and pretty much for me, when you get all this mud and stuff, I understand it's a mess to clean up. And it's just you get up in your exhaust, you get up on your leaf springs and stuff. But really, my reason why I'm saying this and why I don't like stock vehicles is like you kind of see that there's a little bit of dry mud from there. And it's like these are mud tires. But for the fact of running mud tires every day, my good and bad review about running mud tires, even when it rains outside, when it rains outside, it's really kind of hard on traction a little bit. That's something you kind of struggle with. If it's snowy, it's just plain old mud tires. They probably wouldn't do as good. That's what they said off custom offsets, meaning when you go outside on a snowy day, they say that you be skidding and stuff real bad. It may depend on your tread and stuff, but for me, these are snow and mud tires. But the only thing I really mentioned about these is like the tread on them is not all that thick. They come out a little bit, but the only thing I really mentioned, they dig a little bit, but the trail is a little bit bigger, and this right here kind of sticked out a little bit more. It probably would not be a bad mud tire, but these are copper tires or something like that. It's the name of the brand, but they're not all that bad tires, but they should just be a little bit better on the tread. They just need to add a little more tread to the tire so way you could get more traction when it's like snow or mud. But these off-road are not that bad. I've tested these out, but it's like snow outside before. I have not had really any issues with that, but the only thing I've kind of mentioned before when I had them standard old tires that didn't do as good. Most people prefer to use like NATO grapplers and things because of they do pretty good. Most guys running bigger tires, they say this. It's like your standard tires sometimes are not all that great because of traction related. Some people have said before when they had the stock rims, they don't like them because of they're hard to get traction and some of them just don't ride as good. But these are just a little bit, just one size bigger. But the big thing I'm kind of mentioning is that when you run bigger tires, they make more noise. You hear it in the cab, and you have to get used to it. I'm used to that stuff. And another thing I'm going to point out to you is another thing about your bigger tires is that sometimes when you run bigger tires, you're probably about to run like mud flats and stuff, or mud guards, what they call them, or fender flares. If I were you, I'd probably run mud flats because of, at least you don't have to get all this dirt up in here. And part of it, when they had like most newer trucks out here on the market, they just do not have this right here, them little covers for your fenders and stuff. Some of them don't have that, but when they had these, they're worth it. But this right here, a little bit of undercut on here, is actually not that bad. It's not really all that bad to clean up. And the other thing I'm kind of going to point out to you is, for one other problem I really kind of mentioned is that when you do mudding, is you can get mud up in your rear bumper and stuff. You kind of see a little bit of the residue of it right there. And part of it, it's like when you get mud and stuff on your vehicle, it kind of kicks it up a little bit, but it's like your rear wheel gets that, side right here gets it. And next, when you just leave the stuff in here, it can cause rust. But I really gonna mention this. It's like these are expensive rims and stuff, but guess they call these fuel off-road. So they're really good rims. I like them, but if I were you guys, don't ever use wheel spacers just because you run bigger tires. It's just, to me, I think it's kind of stupid and it's cheap because of A lot of people, they even say that they run like bigger rims and tires, and you know what? People want them to stick out a little bit so that way that they have a little bit of the stance. It's like, for me, don't get me wrong, it's like the stance is one thing that's common for bigger trucks, running bigger ones. And another thing I kind of mentioned is that, you know, even when you go off-roading, you just gotta have some good lights. I'm not joking about it. If you don't have good lights, because of trails and stuff, some of them are really dark and they're just hard to do at night. So a lot of this other stuff I'm going to point out to you is that when you go mudding the leveling kit, my other thing I'm going to point out, my good and bad things about it, leveling kit gets you a little bit more clearance. Same with the body lift, but if I were you to use a leveling kit, I probably would say this. Use a, you wouldn't go with a suspension lift, do not go with 3 or 4 inches, go with a 6-inch. Better parts are recommended, better components, and part of it, the bad thing about leveling kits is you do not get is different bushings. Me and my upper control arms, those are the main common things that go bad. And part of your drive shaft, you really gotta look at that. Your drive shaft, when you go a certain amount of inches, you can kind of see like a difference of them, because some drive shafts, they kind of hang like down like this because the truck's sitting up higher. Then it's like SUVs and Jeeps. I don't know how they operate with, for them, Jeeps, the drive shaft probably sits down a little bit too, but four-wheel drives, they have 2 rear ends, and two-wheel drives, they can do pretty good, but my drive shaft is probably hanging down a little bit, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but it hangs down a little bit. Not too bad, but well, another thing I want to point out to you guys is that anytime you go mudding, definitely wash your truck, because you just don't want to get rust related stuff. Expensive, don't want a welder, and you don't want to be doing something that's not worth your money. So be careful doing this stuff, and hope this video was helpful. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe for more videos, because this week I have some more coming up. Let's see if I get to it.